So if you had to do it all over again, would you?
Certainly not. It's
No, I mean,
It's
no.
my body.
If you were coming into another life and you remembered everything about this life, would you want to have children?
I guess it would depend on my circumstances at the time. I mean, it was a valuable thing to have. I mean, I did treasure it, but I don't know. I don't know if I would do it again, having done it.
Would you do it again? Let's go.
Well, if I'm going to be the woman next life, I like that.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I'll do better.
What about you, Tori?
Next life?
Yeah.
It would depend on what I felt my life was for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was to serve, then it wouldn't be necessary to me.
But you,
It could be, I could serve a child too.
Yeah.
But, you know, depends.
But you, Ela, next life? No.
No.
You're dead against it all lives.
I love, but I don't feel like having a baby.
What about you, Emily? Maybe. What about you, Alia?
Not this life.
Not this life. Pretty set on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought too earlier.
Everyone says that. They're just ruining my dreams.
Why you
Come
ruining my
on, believe
dreams,
in
yo?
me.
You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter one way or the other.
Believe
It doesn't matter one way or the other.
Not at all.
No.
I don't feel like anything's missing
No.
in my life at all.
No.
That's what they act like.
I
You
know.
don't have a kid.
Well, there's not much to do in this life. It's go to work, have a kid. What else?
Have lunch.
Have lunch, get lunch. Get your hair done.
Repeat.
Repeat. Wear a mask.
Be with your guru.
Yeah. Would you have children in your next life, Daniel?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to do much of the work, right?
I was thought maybe I was answering also for being a woman.
What's that? Oh, be a woman and have kids. Wow. How many? 5? I'm getting you ready for next life.
There was that woman that's
Sign
going
here.
up for the Supreme Court. She has 7
7 kids.
Because we had a neighborhood, we were all 6
Irish
and
Catholics all had 6, 7 more kids. Yeah, I was
We
in a
had
neighborhood like
6.
that.
You
Yeah.
had 6, right?
What's that? They had sex?
No, did you have
Irish
6?
kids.
I figured that part out already.
Okay.
Figure that part out.
I had 6 in my family, but we're not Irish. But people around us were Irish, and they all had like 8 or 9 or something, kids like that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing. So if you didn't have to do it at all, you still would want to do it.
If I didn't have to do it,
Yeah.
probably not. You know, I'm married now.
How about being married? Would you get married if you didn't have to?
No,
No. Oh, it's more firmer on that
I'm firm on
one. Well,
that.
that's a woman's experience. Marriage is for men, not women.
Yeah.
Would you want to be married in the next life?
Well, that's kind of hard because
Because no.
It's kind of hard because I'll say no. How about you, Tori? You want to be married next life? No kids, not married?
No, I'm fine without that.
You want to be a man or a woman?
A woman.
Woman. So Dan wants to be a woman, and he's going to have kids.
He can do it. He can do
He'll do it. So none of the women want to be married next life?
no.
You think you'll be married in the next life?
No.
Yeah, it seems like
It'll
it'll be
be
outdated.
Yeah, it's getting outdated.
Yeah, it seems kind of pointless. Just seems more complicated if you want to break up.
There you go. I got the wisdom from
That's a
the.
good point.
She's seen it all already.
And a lot of
It just seems more complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of women don't even survive breaking up. They get killed or something.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, the abusive relationships.
Oh,
where they
abusive,
finally get
yeah.
out
Yeah.
And they finally track them down and kill them.
Yeah.
Break them up.
Some more if you like. All right, so down on marriage,
Yep.
maybe a kid.
I'm going for the BIPOP.
Bye, pops.
Bye, pops.
All right.
Gender, what you want to call it?
Not my-
Gender fluid.
No, that's not a BIPOC. All right.
Would the men come back as women? Would anybody else?
How about you, Jerry? You want to come back as a woman?
Do I have to come back?
Do I have to come back?
So far, yeah.
At this point, yeah.
U.S. records.
Definite.
Here?
Is that yes or
Embodiment.
no, Jerry? Avoiding the question.
You want to be a woman next
I
life?
think so.
Yeah. You, James? Yeah? How about you, Daniel?
You look like a woman, Danny.
We're all complaining about our experience. Never listen.
After this last week, I
Yeah.
definitely didn't want to come back as a guy.
I thought they had it pretty good.
I thought I had it good, and I still was like,
Yeah. I want to be 75 and still have a sex drive. Oh well.
It's just because you're and you've shown women how to be free now.
Yeah,
That's why.
the beauty of it.
Oh, they want. That's why you want to be a
You
woman, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
serve
Yeah.
that.
Because
We need
you're
a
the
stronger
role
woman.
model.
Yeah.
Help that.
Yeah.
What if just a portion of the culture is interested in having children, not instead of everybody?
That'd be
Yeah,
better.
that'd
So
be
much
great.
better.
We wouldn't be overpopulated,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe kids would be more loved and taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who really want to be mothers can be mothers.
That's what they say about gay couples who have babies.
Yeah, they're more loved.
That gay men have their children are happier.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for me, it's not like, oh, I want to be a woman to have a baby, or like,
Mm-hmm.
it's more like that, like openness, that like connection with love that I feel like has always attracted me to women. Just like so much with the guys, there's so much like fight, at least in my experience,
Yeah.
like open, you know, like open, and it's always like such like shut down from the beginning. Whereas like I feel like women just like naturally are just like more open, more loving, more willing to surrender, you know.
Do you feel like you were more open and loving than the men you were with?
That's a trick question.
I do.
A couple of them were, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody's
Definitely.
laughing over
That's the other.
You do or you don't?
It is all
You feel like you were more loving than the men that you were with?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I have to say yes.
Okay.
I do.
How about you, Jessica?
Am I more loving?
Did you feel you were more loving than the men you were
I
with?
think so.
How about you, Shaw?
Yes.
How about you, Emily? Okay. Well, I guess that's one positive direction in choosing to be a female, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You feel you were loved in the way you wanted to be loved? Anybody? Oh, no, head shaking.
Till I met you.
Yeah.
Beyond imagination.
Yeah.
What about the
Excuse me?
what about the ancient matriarchal pattern, where everybody your own age is your brother and sister, everybody younger is your daughter or son, and everybody older is your mother or father, and all the adults take care of all the kids, and you have a much larger community group instead of a nuclear family.
Yeah, that sounds
which
beautiful.
You might be born into and not compatible with.
Yeah.
Tribal life.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, much better,
That
much better.
sounds very good. Yeah.
Because I don't mind looking after kids, but I wouldn't want to be the mother.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoy looking after children sometimes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be able to experience so much more
Mhm.
without having to pick a path or whatever. Like having the whole group
Yeah.
mingle. That would be nice.
Did let's see, Shaw, you were a mother, and Jessica, did you feel lonely at times that the responsibility was all on you for the child?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
That there was not enough
Support.
support and cooperation with the
Yes.
other people? Okay.
Including the husband,
Yeah, I felt that
I
way.
just wondered about them, yeah.
With the husband?
Yeah.
Was you feel your husband was not hands-on enough with the children?
And he was gone a lot.
He's gone a lot.
Yeah.
So
Dan
we-
was good.
Dan was good?
Yeah, second husband was good, but my first husband was nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
My
Did you-
father was okay, I always feel that, but there was just a dominant factor. He was like the domination of the house, the father.
Whatever his mood was
Yeah,
in,
that
that was
was
the
always
mood of
very
the house.
heavy, very heavy, and if he felt.
Did anybody
very
experience
fine.
that by their father? Like whatever mood the father was in was the mood of the house?
Yep.
Not me.
No.
Jeff never did that? Jeff was.
You know what's up there.
What's that?
You know what's up there.
Yeah, I knew something. You felt that way too? Whatever the mood of the father was the mood of the house?
My dad,
Wasn't
my,
it?
my mom would set the mood of the house.
No. Did you bring happiness or was she moody?
She was depressed a lot.
She was depressed. Anybody have parents that were kind of depressed?
Mad.
Mad?
Yeah.
Mad?
My mother was depressed.
Yeah.
I
Was
think
your mother depressed?
My mother was very frustrated.
Yeah.
Single parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have a culture where
Yeah.
it wasn't left just to
alone.
yeah, one person to raise,
Right.
one female
Lovely.
person to raise the children by themselves, with all the financial and the time and the emotional issues involved.
Right.
Every time she tried to create community, it was such a gamble.
Yeah.
Because we were in a different town, so
Didn't know who you got.
yeah.
Well, that's a little bit of the women's experience. Any other questions about the women's experience? I mean, it's a lot we can reveal if you want to know anything.
In Japan, a lot of women start working, and then the work will provide like child care.
Let's see.
So it's easier for the woman to go
Yeah,
to work.
But now you can't go anywhere because of COVID.
No.
I just would say that the conversation last week, I could feel the men, that they really do have a sex drive that doesn't diminish. That's how it felt. Maybe it does for some of them, but mine really diminished after menopause. So and that's really different for a woman. It sounded like from the men.
Yeah, it does sound different, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, and that happens
Yes.
because our reproduction is over.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole drive, I
After
had that
that.
drive when I was young.
Mhm.
I did, but and it just goes.
It's not there.
It just goes. It's not a thought. It
No.
just isn't in the body.
It's not important anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So that happened in your 50s,
Yeah, my late 50s.
late 50s,
60s to me.
60s for you. Do you guys know that?
I was hoping it would happen for men too, to be honest.
Oh, really? You're tired of it?
Yeah.
You tired of it? You tired of it?
Yeah, but it doesn't disturb me anymore.
Okay.
You know, it used to disturb me more when it felt strong. It
Mhm.
doesn't feel that strong anymore. I think the more you put your mind on it, the more strength you give it.
Yeah.
I agree.
You also had a lot about cancer too.
That too.
Yeah. How about you, Dan? Still
It's pretty much over.
pretty much
I
over?
wouldn't agree that all males go to their drop over. I think it slows down
It does?
and
Okay.
does I always know something down to, nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't put mine on cancer either,
No?
really. No.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what it is. So it's good to hear because that's what it is. All right, so as we age, certain elements of the sex drive begin to diminish for everybody. But I think it's a little more dramatic for women because during menopause and after menopause, all that area, the vaginal area, becomes very unprepared. It's not, it doesn't have the same juices and all the things that made you ready for have sex. It just goes away.
hormone changes.
Yeah, the hormones change. But if you had kids or you had a lot of sex, you got it done. Don't worry about it.
Fulfilled its purpose.
Yeah, for real. Did anybody feel a lot of love through sex in their lives? Or when you had sex, you felt a lot of love? Yeah.
I don't feel that attracted to sex.
What's that?
I'm not very sexual person.
No?
No.
Sensuous though, right?
You know, like how you say like the sex drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Not so much.
No. I mean, it's okay, but it's not something that, oh my God, it's so cool. I don't think. I don't know if it's not
Did
normal.
anybody? Did any of the
It's
women
not
think
normal.
sex was really pretty good?
It's just, I think it's overrated.
Overrated?
I would say overrated.
I agree.
Mm. Men feel that way too? It's
Yeah.
overrated.
Yeah. Well, when you're
It's
not
okay,
when
but
you're
it's-
16, but you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Now there's like it's like just like it seems like a lot of work for such a small.
Overrated.
What's that?
No, it's not overrated.
Who said that?
You.
Theo.
Okay. All right. Everybody can have their experience and
Yeah.
their own opinion.
I think it's something
He likes
like biological. Each person has a different desire, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I have read some people don't have any sex drive at all. I think
Yeah, I heard
they
of
are
that.
called
Asexual.
asexual.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like the romantic thing, but like being with someone, but they don't feel like that thing, having sex and stuff.
I guess they don't feel all that tingling and stimulation
I guess.
in
I
the
don't know.
genitals. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I thought it was what I like about how well I can appreciate how it doesn't have to be, it's not like everyone's the same, and to accept where you're at with it, you know, like to come to that, to accept where you are at with it, you're by yourself. I like that, you know, I enjoy that, you know, that it's not, I think a lot of getting caught up into what your life is supposed to look like as a sexual person is where it really gets screwed up for, you know, some men, or at least when I was earlier, you know, younger.
It's
kind of more overhyped than overrated.
Yeah, more overhyped. Yeah,
well,
like
it's
that.
used so much. You know
so
what
you
I mean?
don't get to figure out what actually
What I
works
want
for,
from
well,
it.
yeah, what
Yeah.
works for you.
I don't, yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah.
It feels like it's used so much culturally to like sell things and to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's-
incredible amount of pressure there.
So it just feels like it's, maybe overhyped might be the word. Or
Yeah, I like that.
it's
What
used
is
so they
overhyped?
make it like it's more than it is, so they can use it to sell. It seems like almost.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Well,
What is
it
how do
can't
you
be
say
a
overhyped?
thing
What is
of
overhyped?
sorts.
How would you
For
explain
sure.
overhyped?
There's two people talking, just a second.
Hype means kind of more like I'm saying, like, oh, it's so good. It's so
hype or
what?
height?
Hype.
Hype.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, why
Oh,
aren't
I
you?
see, I see.
That,
So
you
like
know,
talked up.
Oh,
Yeah, talked up.
Oh, I see, I see,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, could be, yeah. Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So do you
Much-
think
much
marriage is
marketing.
overhyped too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Think working's overhyped?
No.
Filming's overhyped?
There we go.
just setting all the little pieces down.
Right.
It's so right.
And love is underhyped.
Yeah.
Love is underhyped. Impersonal love, huh?
Impersonal, the good one.
I guess Adidas says everything's mediocre.
Yeah. Well, he was a very dramatic person, so I can imagine everything was pretty boring to him. That's why he had those wild parties, which everybody was probably deathly afraid. Oh no, what's gonna do tonight?
Like, oh no, I brought the Jack Daniels out.
Oh no, here comes the cigarettes. Now they're probably saying, like Shaw, those were the good old days. Those are the good days when I had my kids.
You can hear him in some of those talks. You can tell when he's smoking a cigarette because he's talking out of the side of his mouth.
Yeah. Anybody really feel that sex is just, everybody feels kind of hyped, and except for Theo doesn't. people feel, did they have like a really good, anybody feel like it was a spiritual experience for them?
Sure.
You did? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. So. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've been in moments where
I would say yes.
Okay. Okay.
I would say yes too. When I was younger, and I had one girlfriend I really liked a lot. I definitely felt that relationship sexually was really good.
Mhm.
So once
Then what happened?
we broke up.
She
She was in the military and she couldn't be gay,
Oh,
and that created so many problems that I couldn't live with.
yeah, that's difficult.
Because she was actually using a guy to cover up from other guys because so many guys were hitting on her. And then I moved over there and then I was trying to fit in with that. It was just way too complicated.
Yeah, that's difficult. Well, see, anything else we missed in this great subject, this vast subject?
Well, I think a lot of people approach sex as though it's a tension and a release of tension, but it's really about relaxation.
Yeah.
Allow the living force to flow through you and just embrace it completely, and then it transforms the sex completely.
And then there's also having a baby.
Yeah.
Sex. Anybody have sex because they wanted to have a baby and they were trying to get pregnant? Yeah?
Twice.
You're trying to get pregnant?
Twice, yeah.
Was that stressful or is that exciting? Does it make the sex exciting or stressful?
Kind of put some pressure on it in a way.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. It wasn't as relaxed because it was waiting for something to see if something would happen.
Yeah. You raised your hand?
Yeah.
Was that with Jessica? Or?
Yes.
She can raise her hand.
I'm gonna say.
I'm a secret.
oops.
I never repeat, just endlessly. Well, that's the primary urge is for.
Oh, yes.
Is for children. Do men think about that when they have sex? That, oh, this could be
Yeah.
child possible? Do I want a child? Am I going for a child?
Or like or now.
What's that?
Oh, now or before?
Now you're sober enough.
Now it's all clear as day, but no.
Well, that's what women, walking outside somewhere and being afraid of being raped, and also unwanted pregnancies is always on someone's woman's mind too.
Yeah,
Like
right.
getting pregnant and you don't want to be pregnant. So those are some of the fears that occupy our emotional sexual lives.
And when you get older and you know you can't get pregnant, you're still afraid of being raped.
No, yeah, that doesn't go away.
It is true.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're old,
No,
anybody
yeah.
can still rape
Yeah.
you.
No. You think it would free you of that, but it doesn't at all.
Yeah.
I know.
The fear's still there.
Who's getting raped?
I mean, abuse,
Yeah.
for sure, but not rape.
Well, how many? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women. And how many said yes?
Abuse.
5
7.
out of 7.
5 and 7.
So I guess it's a normal experience for women.
Sadly.
Sadly.
That's why it's so radical that you're here. I have to say it out loud. You're here and you're changing it. You're changing the awareness of it at least.
Oh, well, I hope so.
Yes. So that's,
I hope women do exactly what they want.
yes.
I think working with women, I discovered that women didn't own their own sexuality. They thought it was just linked to the person they were having sex with, that it wasn't theirs.
Yes.
It wasn't theirs completely,
No.
100%.
It's about whether you please them or not. That was your sexuality when you were young, when I was young.
But men, don't you just feel like your sex is your own? You own it yourself?
Suppose, yeah, I haven't thought about it.
There's a lot of differences. Some of them are cultural, some of them biological. All the cultural ones are due to the fear of being second-class citizens in a patriarchy. Did you ever feel like you couldn't do what you wanted and generate your own life to please a man that you were with?
Because of my bad choice to go along with my husband instead of doing what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I knew even in the moment it was my bad choice, but he was very bossy.
Yeah.
But I went along with it. So yes.
You're all shaking your head, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's that. So I hope each generation of women is more liberated than the previous as far as seeing you can say no, or you can generate your own life, or create your own opportunities. But if there's no personal self-confidence in your own life, in your own sexuality, then you have to learn it. You have to grow into it. Otherwise, you can't go forward very well. So you feel you can go and generate your own life the way you want it, and have an emotional sexual life with someone in the way you are happy with, not just to please that person. Okay, that's good news.
That's awesome. That's good.
You feel like you know everything about pregnancy prevention? Good. See, we didn't have any of that.
No.
We didn't have any of those assumptions
At her
that she
age,
says,
no.
yes, I know it.
Nobody talked
I
about
can
it.
do it. We didn't have any of that.
No. Nothing.
So that's the difference.
It's
How
wonderful.
about your friends, your age? Do you think they know what you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good. That's good news.
Not all of it, but yeah.
Thank God.
What's that?
Thank God for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, some things have changed
Mm-hmm.
for the better,
It's great.
but women still, are you afraid of getting raped? Okay, that hasn't changed. What are we going to do about that?
Kill all the men.
Okay.
I'm glad he said it.
Well, it might help if they get put in jail for the crime instead of not
Yeah.
getting put in jail for the crime.
Yes.
Too often, yeah.
You know?
I do think good is like there is like an awareness growing from a guy's perspective. I feel like what is consent, what is not consent, just
Yeah.
among the younger generation. Like I didn't have that growing up, but there were so many like stuff we talked about within guys. It was like, oh, if she says no, she really wants it. You know, like that bullshit. Like that was like yeah, when you're like young, that was like.
I've heard of
And
that.
I just didn't know any better. You know, I just it was. That's the way it was, but now there's like this whole like consent. How do you approach consent? How do you like
That's
make
good.
sure the woman knows?
That's good.
Taking it more off the victim's responsibility to learn self-defense and not wear short skirts and
Yeah.
not go
Yeah.
out late at
Yeah.
night and more, like I know in college they're doing a lot of like those consent courses for the like all fraternities and sororities and
That's good. That's very
I
good.
mean, I mean, it's empowering for men too to know that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
What is?
You don't want to have the sex at the expense of somebody's heart and body.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's not that strong a drive that you just have to conquer and dominate someone for it. You can control yourself and learn to be in a relationship. The sex drive doesn't overpower that humanity in anybody. Well, that's good. So, yeah. So, I remember being a younger woman and saying no to men, and they act like, oh no, that's not the no.
Right.
You're not really saying no.
no.
Just want the answer you want. Well, seems very cheerful being a woman, doesn't it?
Always been.
What's that?
Always has been.
Always has been. What's the good part of being a woman, besides all the cultural difficulties?
The heart of it.
Part of it? Okay.
It's the biggest
Do
thing.
you ever experience your masculine, your inner masculine side? That's not the wounded male, but the actual masculine side. Do you ever experience that?
Meaning move forward and create, or is that how
I thought
you
those
No,
are
this-
feminine.
I feel like
Whatever you think it is.
Masculine?
I feel it more now than ever, but it feels to me it's almost like a strength in being present in the world that's not afraid, and not, for some reason, because my femaleness has always, until recently with you, always felt weaker than the male. I don't feel that anymore, so then I figure that's the masculine coming out in me, that I'm just not fearful in the world like I used to be.
Okay.
I
Do
don't know
you
if that's true or not.
experience your inner male?
I'm gonna say yeah. It's more of like a given confidence around certain things, stuff like
Okay.
that.
What about you, Emily?
I agree. I always associate my inner male with like the outside world. When you feel confident going out there, like kind of what Tori was saying, and feeling, not like women can't feel confident and go out there and do things, but it's a different kind of like, just comfortable in the outside world and being able to navigate and choose things and like move things forward.
Are you guys comfortable in doing that in the world?
Not all the time.
Yeah.
It can be scary.
I think part of it comes to not worrying other people's consent to do that too.
You're not looking for permission from other
Yeah.
people while you're doing something?
Which is how I see guys move through
That's
the
it.
world. They're never
Okay.
like, oh, can I do this, honey? Like, is it okay if I go do this? You know?
Yeah.
Versus I feel like
Okay.
my wounded side is like, can I do this? Am I allowed to? What will people think?
Okay. So in your heart of hearts, do you think there's really no male or female? Or there is a combined male and female? What is it to be male? What is it to be female?
I think there's masculine and feminine energy that everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've always thought there was. Is that okay? I always thought there was a masculine and a feminine way to interact with the world.
Mm-hmm.
That the masculine was going out with a tool and taking something from the environment and changing things. And the feminine was attracting resources in the environment, changing it into new life and giving it back. So any creative, artistic thing is a feminine action of this transformation into new life and giving it back. And the masculine thing is more like ordering things out there in the spatial world. So every person, I think, can act in either way. But I've always thought if a man doesn't develop his feminine side, he's never going to understand women.
That's
If
true.
a woman doesn't develop her masculine side, she'll never understand a man either.
And she won't know how to be in the world either.
There's also like another like.
But in your
superficial
heart, a heart,
Yeah, like.
do you
but
feel
I'm
like
saying,
any of those qualities?
No, but what about like stuff like guys do, like for example, like more like playing video games, like superficial stuff. Like in the past, like girls would I can play video games, like war games or stuff like that because those are guy stuff, or like skate, doing skate, or what else? I don't know. This is sport, football or soccer, and now girls do that. a lot.
Yeah, they do.
That is also.
I feel like there's no like feminine, masculine like inner energy, but it's definitely inflicted in the culture, hardly,
Yeah.
based on your gender.
Or the colors, blue and
Yeah.
pink,
Which is not
stuff like that.
color doesn't identify.
So in your heart of heart, you don't think there's really a masculine or feminine internal life?
No.
Okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh. Do you experience me as masculine or feminine?
Neither.
Both?
Both, yeah.
Either and both are kind of the same thing.
Bigger.
Free.
Are women more emotional than men?
Not if you
I
saw
think
the
it's the
debate.
same. I think it's the same.
Same.
Yeah.
Guys are more
I think
like,
it's
how
different.
you say, like they can show emotions. Maybe
Yeah.
they are not used to because.
Mhm.
I think
society-
guys are taught to
Yeah.
block it in,
Exactly.
which then just
Yeah.
makes it worse eventually. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were brought up to suppress expression of it in our own male pricking order, I call it, growing up. But then I was, back in the 50s, so.
That's me too, way back there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
You got a crowd here.
Yeah, well, I think the dominant emotion that men have
Anger.
have you seen in men is anger, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And with women, sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when a woman's sad, it's because her impulse to generate her own life in the way she wants or needs to is really blocked.
Right.
That's why she's sad. So anything else on this topic?
It's good. Good to say it.
I'd just like to say that when I was, most of my life, 3/4 of it, my feminine side was absolutely enraged,
Uh-huh,
anger all the time.
yeah.
And the male side was just out there playing the game with the guys, and I know what the hell I'm doing and all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
every time I wanted to do something creative, there was a gang going on, and there were other guys coming in that want to steal it, do something else with it, or just pick it up. Oh, that's nice, I'll use it for this over here. But it was no community of let's support each other and create something in common. It was just competitive, ridiculous.
So anger and
So,
competition is how men are allowed to be
It
expressed in
destroyed
culture.
responsibility
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
on a community level.
Yep.
Except in rock bands.
Works sometimes as long as we don't kill each other.
Yeah.
Well, some bands killed each other.
We'll just.
I'll have fights. Yeah.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
that's like people.
Yeah.
It's true in a band. I was in a lot of rock bands, and they weren't competing. The men weren't competing in the band. They were trying to produce a product.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, so it was good.
So men get to be angry and competitive.
Band cover artwork that a lot of those bandmates have a bond with each other.
That's good. How do women have bonds?
We talk about
Yeah.
things.
We talk about
James Bond.
pregnancy, children.
It's your creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you're lucky, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you get to do that.
Doing something you like.
How is your spirituality related to either being a female or a male?
I think that I have to have my feminine submissive side completely open to Adida for that relationship to work.
Okay. Anybody else?
I agree.
But not
You
be a
agree?
pushover and not lose my manliness. But when regards to Adida, total submission, total softness or
Mhm.
feminine qualities, openness.
When you talk about addressing the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine in me, you know, and how to address those bad patternings of like bad psychological thoughts that you have that aren't really conducive to a positive masculine and femininity balance.
You're feeling you have the right to live your spiritual life.
As a
And not,
woman?
not believe there's any obstruction to it, just not believe it.
Okay.
Thanks.
And hearing you talk about how the feminine has been treated too has helped me see how that's in me.
Mhm.
How as a man I act that way and how to change that.
Mhm. How have you acted?
You know, the anger thing, like they're talking about coming in the room and like wanting to not own the room but be noticed in the room, or like I said, trying to, you know, not take part, let things get done around the house or whatever without but on purpose, you know what I mean, knowing things need to be done but not doing it,
But not doing it.
stuff like that.
Stuff like that. Because you're a male and you can do that.
Yeah.
How is being
The nurturing male will
Yeah,
open.
nurturing male.
Nurturing male will open and allow other males to run things, and then even on a hunt,
Yeah.
whoever gets the lead with the prey will follow, and then everybody lets them go ahead and organize the hunt. because that was the circumstance. So they can dance together, but they have to be in a situation in which they do not feel threatened by status. There's no competition for status. Then the men can relax and actually mutually support other male, and then the nurturing male comes out.
That's good.
But otherwise, if there's a status problem or there's a gender conflict, oh man, males just close right up. We're all competing, and everything's an object, including the women and other people.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
myself.
Agreed.
How's being a woman affected you on the spiritual path, Shaw?
Well, in the beginning when I was married, I think the thing that really was hard was that my husband wanted to be the center of my life, and kind of demanded that he be the center of my life. And so when you were the center of my life, that totally blew everything up. But you were the center of my life, and he wasn't. And we couldn't resolve that because he just always wanted that, and felt that that's how it should be, that I should always have him as the center.
Do you think that's the impossible dream men have about women?
Right.
And
Yeah,
women
but
always
that's what
fake
they-
it, that they are the center of their lives?
Right.
Yeah, you
We-
correct
we-
it, that's
And then
an
men get mad because they kind of sense that's a
Right.
fake job?
right,
Yeah,
exactly,
pretend it.
and that was, the
Should any man be the center of your life?
No,
We shouldn't be,
Adi-da.
there is no.
we shouldn't ask men to take total care of us
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
shouldn't be the center of all their energy, but they have to take care of us like we're little
Well, it's
babies,
both fake
you know.
deals because the
Yeah.
man's
It is.
not going to take care of you and
No.
you're not going to make him the center of your life. It's both based on fake deal, fake
Right.
contract.
Right.
Did you believe that a woman was supposed to make you the center? You did.
As soon as I got married, it was supposed to be sex every night.
Oh, really? Every night?
But that didn't
Wow.
last ever. But it's just like,
Emily's looking at her mom.
pass.
Did you feel that way, that marriage or closeness to a woman, that she's supposed to make you the center of her life? No, you didn't feel that way. Did you feel that way?
When I was younger, yeah.
When you were younger?
And I didn't realize that I felt that way for a long time, and it took your helping me to understand that.
Right.
And after I understood that, I stopped. I got a more sense of when that craving comes up, what that is. That isn't just default me. That's just an old imprint that doesn't really work. That no one in my life helped me to understand, except you and my failures.
How about you, Jerry?
No, I mean, I totally know what Dan's talking about. I mean, I feel like I've struggled with that and still do sometimes. But I mean, I think you helped him at one time to kind of encourage Rebecca to let her come to me more when she wants to be intimate, rather than the other way around all the time. Has helped, you know.
Well, I remember when I was married, all my husbands would complain at one point in the marriage, you love Arida more than me. Like that was a bad thing.
Right.
And I would say, yeah. You're not going to give me enlightenment.
So you got that, huh?
Took you well.
But they thought I was just a really bad woman because I loved my guru.
Nasty.
Yes, exactly.
Because they were supposed to be. And they were on the same level as Arida for some reason,
Yeah.
even though they
Yeah.
weren't awake.
Right.
So he didn't accept that, or your husband didn't accept that you felt you love more Adida than him, or
Yeah.
No.
similar?
No.
He was jealous.
Well, isn't that, it's kind of like, almost like guru status in the male programming for him to think that he's like the center of your life, almost.
Yeah, it's like the guru
It's like
status, yeah.
equivalent,
yeah.
kinda.
I'm your god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I guess that's Shaw's experience. Exactly. Well, that's a little bit like living in the patriarchy. It's like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
And
hope
the
it's
old-
changing. What's
old
that?
Culture, male culture. I grew up in there was a subconscious imprinting that came in between the men
Mm-hmm.
that a woman was accessory to a man's status.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't give a woman a chance to be supported as a person at all.
No,
No.
it doesn't.
No.
Exactly.
Hope that's breaking up now.
That's
You
it.
feel that's
Yeah,
breaking
it
up?
won't be.
Yeah, I feel it more. Yeah.
You have to fight for it still.
No, I think it's just the transition. I'm gonna say I'm pretty new to life, and so is everyone else. So, you know.
Yeah.
Just checking out the turf, huh? See what's going on in the streets.
A fine new addition.
Yeah.
Well, we're all hoping and working on and realizing a new way, the way we are cooperative and respect and love each other, and cooperative with each other's impulses and needs and growth and spiritual drive, the kind of drives in life. The woman is not to see the man as her God that she's serving, and her happiness depends on his happiness. But all our happiness depends on our own inner impulse of happiness to be shared and cooperated with. And we can get there, that nobody's on the bottom, nobody's on the top. And I think another thing we didn't talk about, that women have to always be beautiful, and they're compared to other people that are all the time. And men can just look the way they look at any age. She's shaking her head on that one. You feel that pressure?
But there's more of a change with it. Men are wearing like makeup now and like nail polish, and that's making it a little better.
Did you ever feel you weren't pretty enough? Oh, wow. Okay, they're all shaking their heads. Yeah. Men, you ever feel you're not handsome enough?
Some of your
Yeah.
phases of that in my life, yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
But did you experience it every day?
No.
For years and years?
There was one thing with my second husband was the worst at best. He would always criticize my body, and it was a way.
Did
I
you
know
criticize his back?
Never. See, no, that was my weakness. And he used that to keep me in his control in a way. But that was totally my weakness because I stayed and put up.
Well, he made fun of you,
Yes.
so you wouldn't go anywhere else.
Yes.
And you would make him your God
Yeah.
because you were not pretty enough.
Exactly.
to
Talented
attract
enough,
anybody
pretty enough, smart
better.
enough, and
Yeah.
all
That's-
that.
That's a trap.
Yeah. It was a
So
trap.
that's been a daily part of being a woman as well,
Yeah.
That's
that
the
we have experienced.
emotional abuse.
Your worth is depicted on the status of how good looking you are, you give to the man in your life. So much fun being a woman.
It's good to be one and know this now.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what's
You know what you know now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why it is good to be one now.
Exactly.
It feels so freeing now.
Annie has a song about that. Everyone, don't be the prettiest girl in the room because everybody secretly hates you.
Not a pretty girl.
Yeah, pretty girl. Did anybody think they were really hot when they were young? Really attractive? You're still young.
You're still there.
You're still there. Nobody? Because in this culture, you're never pretty enough, right? There's always somebody else that you're going to have to feel like, Does anybody, in their next life, if they're having a kid or not having a kid or getting married or not having, you want to be really good looking in the next life? Anybody? No?
I don't think it helps.
You don't think it helps?
No,
Not
I think
really.
it's just enough another thing that you have to learn to live with, whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever different traits.
The good parts and the fallout.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be good looking in the next life. So if another form of tantra comes around, I'll be looking for the uglier people.
Second, I want to be the prettiest person. That's awesome.
Just ordinary.
I was like, I'm good looking. All right.
All right, come on. In the car.
You're kind of hard on the eyes.
Okay, I guess I'll take you.
Keep the same. I don't want to go backwards.
What was that movie? Shallow Hal?
Oh, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
So good.
That was good.
Did you see that one, Ollie?
No, I don't think so.
Jack
He
Black,
gets cursed or
You'd love it.
hypnotized. to
Gwyneth
think that-
Paltrow.
with
He
George
get-
Costanza.
yeah.
Yeah, and he thinks everybody has a really good heart is pretty. Like everyone's outward appearance is their inner heart.
He gets hit by that Tony.
Yeah.
So he falls in love with
Tony
Gwyneth
Robbins.
Paltrow dressed as a fat lady. Because she has a good heart.
Okay, she's the blonde
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow, yeah.
Yeah.
She's really obese.
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but yeah.
He saw her and his friends saw this big old gigantic girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'll go for it for you.
So it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
fun.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Shallow Hal.
And
I laughed when I saw it because that's how my husband treated me.
Yeah.
Like shallow Hal. Yeah, that's I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah?
even believe
Oh.
it. That's how he was. Yeah.
So that was,
I
what's
thought
his
that
name?
was really funny. Chris. Terry.
Chris. Okay. Yeah. Do you think men mature past those shallow assumptions
I hope.
as they get older?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Did you get past any of those shallow assumptions when you were younger?
Me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really?
It took you all your.
You say no, I'm still shallow.
It took you.
That's the core, man.
What's that?
It took a lot of work to get there.
Yeah. So did you guys enjoy hearing a woman's experience?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it, James? Jerry?
Yes.
There's always a lot more to discover along the way, and we can share with each other
Yeah.
about your experience and my experience. If you want to. It's a good time of our lives that we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything. Barely breathe out there. We just end up sitting in the room facing each other, I guess. That's what's left to us.
You're good at it.
Alright, well, I'll put my well, that was good. I appreciate your openness, and I think in this room we've heard a lot of good expression of what it's been like and your vision of what it can be and your experience of making it that way. So hearing the older women feeling a lot stronger and different from the earlier years and all the very difficult assumptions that were made of what you could do here as a woman, how you could generate and understand your own happiness, that you gotten through all that. So I think there's a good incentive if you keep sharing your wisdom to give the younger people that vote, younger women, and that there's a new male emerging too who wants to be cooperative with the feminine, not dominate it but be related to it and have a life that's purposeful in that. So that sounds good. So if you come back here again,
Yes.
you come back here again. Don't be too pretty. Don't get married.
No babies, be ugly.
But who knows how it's gonna go, right?
Yeah, 5 kids from Dan.
Dan's gonna have 5 kids.
5 kids.
He's laughing. All right. Well, good night.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.